Hey, Mark.
Yeah, buddy?
Out of curiosity, do you machine wash or dry clean your naked shirt?
I just shower with it on.
Cute.
They did not like Obamacare in a box with a fox, in a house, or with a mouse.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Have decided in 2020 to run for president.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
To get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew Furman.
And I'm Mark Ramson.
And welcome to the second episode of Nude News.
Tonight's main topic, the fourth Democratic primary debate.
That's right, Mark. Tuesday night played out like a 3-hour screening of Cheaper by the Dozen, only with Steve Martin being played as Anderson Cooper and his 12 children being played as the candidates, all whining for more time.
Wow. That was a pretty bad analogy right there, Andrew.
Hey, it's going to be a long episode. There's definitely more where that came from. As the primary season progresses, each candidate is looking to distinguish themselves from the field.
Healthcare was a central topic discussed in all the debates, and the fourth one is no exception.
That's right, Mark. In each debate, the moderators seem to hit candidates hard with questions surrounding healthcare. With a dozen Democrats on the stage at one time, it's hard for each candidate to lay out their plans on such a complex issue such as healthcare. The field seems to be split up in two different sections: those who want to preserve our current system and expand it with a public option, and those who want a single payer or Medicare for all system to redefine healthcare in America.
To give a brief overview of each system and how it would work, a public option would compete with a private health insurance and allow for everyday Americans to buy into our existing Medicare program. A single-payer system, or conveniently named Medicare for All system, would expand on Medicare to not only cover those Americans over the age of 65, but all Americans, making Medicare the only insurer for healthcare nationwide, hence the name single-payer. The devil's in the details on these issues, and within the time restraints of a debate, it's hard to lay out plans as complex as healthcare plans. One candidate that generated a lot of attention throughout the debate was Andrew Yang. Yang seemed to have brought his economic policy of giving every American adult $1,000 a month into the conversation regarding poverty in America. His idea of a universal basic income, which he calls a freedom dividend, is the keystone of his entire policy agenda.
But by no means is this a new idea. Similar plans have been proposed elsewhere in the world in places like Norway, Ontario, Canada, and even within the U.S. The state of Alaska provides a dividend to its citizens from natural resource profits. While these programs have their benefits, many have their doubts that the same program could be implemented on a national scale. Yang claims that not only is this freedom dividend possible, it's a necessity. Throughout the campaign trail, Yang often points out the dangers of technology taking jobs. Truck drivers, retail employees, and call center workers are all occupations that Yang speculates will be hit hard by new technology. He claims that to give money directly to the people is the best and most effective way of preventing high levels of poverty from these people and to promote economic freedom for those in the middle to lower classes who are struggling to pay their bills.
Taxes. Nobody likes those, but in some of these plans laid out by Democrats, there has to be some way to pay for them. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have put forth a wealth tax, a more complex tax that differs from income tax as it applies to all wealth accumulated over a certain amount, not just a traditional salary.
In Warren's plan, she imposes a 2% tax on all money accumulated over $50 million and a 3% tax on every dollar over $1 billion. Sanders' plan differs as it has several brackets. Starting at a 1% tax at $32 million, it reaches up to 8% tax on every dollar over $10 billion.
Andrew Yang has brought forth the idea of a value-added tax, or a VAT tax. A VAT tax is more comparable to a sales tax as it sets a flat rate to realtors and manufacturers based on the amount of sales they make to consumers.
In light of President Trump's impending impeachment inquiry, it was only a matter of time before Hunter Biden was brought up. Hunter Biden and his business dealings were the premises of the phone call between President Trump and leadership in Ukraine. 17 minutes into the debate, moderator Anderson Cooper asked former Vice President if it was okay for his son, Hunter, to do business abroad while Biden was a sitting vice president.
Biden responded by saying he and his son did nothing wrong. Anderson Cooper was faulted for his framing of the question, in which he opens up the question by stating that Trump falsely accused Joe Biden.
Well, Mark, we've made it through the first 4 rounds of debate.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I feel like these candidates have grown up so fast.
You're so right. And that's why Nude News has decided to publish a Democratic debate yearbook for the presidential class of 2020. All the best senior quotes, action shots, and superlatives we all wanted to see.
Oh boy, Andrew, that sounds great. Should we give the viewers at home a sneak peek?
Sure thing, Mark. Let's see who we have first.
Aw, Uncle Joe. What's his senior quote, Andrew?
It's his closing statement from the third debate. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. Make sure that kids hear words.
Boy, that's a good one. I'll read the next one. Let's look at Cory Booker. His quote, also from the third debate, quote, "I'm the only person on this stage that find Trudeau's hair very menacing."
Wow, that made absolutely no sense whatsoever, Cory. Mayor Pete won our first superlative, most likely to take long drives in his dad's Chevy after absolutely roasting Beto O'Rourke.
Julian Castro won our next superlative, most likely to give children nightmares, on account of the fact that he looks like Randall from Monsters, Inc.
For those in our audience who might not know who Randall from Monsters, Inc. is, or maybe who Julian Castro is, here's a side-by-side comparison of the two. Just to clarify, Castro is the one on the left.
Next up is Kamala Harris, who just wanted to remind us all of the fact that she was that girl.
Moving on to what seems to be the forgotten candidate, Amy Klobuchar during the third debate stated that, while Bernie wrote the bill, I read the bill. That's why this year's literary achievement superlative goes to Amy. Congrats on reading, Senator Klobuchar.
Robert Francis O'Rourke won the superlative for best nickname. Yep, for all those who don't know, Beto's real name is not Beto. In addition, Senator Sanders gave us an absolutely fantastic quote from Thursday night. When Vice President pointed to Sanders while discussing the Russian Kremlin, Sanders responded with, quote, "I'm not Vladimir Putin."
Next is Elizabeth Warren, who according to a recent Quinnipiac poll released on October 14th, wins the most likely to win the Democratic nomination superlative. I apologize. I know that one wasn't funny. Just figured we could knock out 2 birds with 1 stone and discuss how Warren was leading in the polls.
Andrew, your writing has become lazy, and quite honestly, I'm really disappointed.
Look, Mark, it was late, and I was just writing, and I don't know what you really expect from me.
No, Andrew, you always do this. Stop making excuses. You're letting me down, you're letting the crew down, and you're letting our 69 Instagram followers down.
We have 69 Instagram followers?
Yeah, I just checked 5 minutes ago.
Let's go.
Moving on to our last senior quote comes from Andrew Yang, who said, quote, "I'm Asian, so I know a lot of doctors."
Tulsi Gabbard and Tom Steyer had not been at all 4 debates, but that won't stop us from giving them superlatives. Because of her recent poll numbers and enthusiasm for asking other candidates questions, Tulsi wins the most likely to become the 5th Democratic debate moderator.
Wow, plaid tie, pop off, Tom. Tom Steyer, our last candidate, came home with the most likely to get mistaken for Mr. Rogers superlative.
Moving on from the topic of debate, former President Barack Obama took to Twitter to endorse current Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. In a tweet sent out on Wednesday, Obama stated, "I was proud to work with Justin Trudeau as president. He's a hard-working, effective leader who takes on big issues like climate change. The world needs his progressive leadership now, and I hope our neighbors to the north support him for another term."
Trudeau has been in the news a lot as of late, mostly because of his poor poll numbers and his scandal involving dressing up in blackface for Halloween and talent shows earlier in his life.
President Trump also made history this week, becoming the first sitting president to ever endorse a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. In a tweet sent out Monday, Trump stated, "Vote for good guy Sean Spicer tonight on Dancing with the Stars. He has always been there for us."
Wow, 2 presidents making equally important endorsements. Think you could ever be on Dancing with the Stars, Andrew?
No, I can never wear those outfits. They're way too revealing. All right, well, that's our show tonight, folks. Make sure and watch our next episode where we continue to cover the 2020 presidential race. In the meantime, I'm Andrew Furman.
And I'm Mark Ramson.
And remember, size only matters when it comes to poll numbers.
And maybe crowd sizes.
See you next time.